Well, first, congratulations to the Warriors. They were fantastic. To all of them, from ownership to Bob, to Steve, Mike and the whole staff, Ronnie and the whole group. The players, obviously, they play a great brand of basketball, fun to watch. They were fantastic. And, they did it with class. So hats off to them. Great job.
Coach, Carlos Nava, ESPN Deportes.
Where are you?
Here. Coach, Manu said, and maybe in his future, before he decides his future, he's going to talk to you. What will be your recommendation after watching him play in this playoff if he's thinking to come back for another season?
Well, Manu, he's a grown man, and he'll figure out what is best for him and his family. We started him tonight out of respect. That was the whole reason for starting him. Before the game, you think, it may or may not be his last game that he ever plays in. And I did not want to miss the opportunity to honor him in front of our home fans for his selflessness over the years. I mean, this is a Hall of Fame player who allowed me to bring him off the bench for, I can't even remember now, the last decade or something, because it would make us a better team overall. So obviously he's a big reason for our success. And he deserved to have that night of respect so that he really feels that we appreciate everything he's done over the years. If he decides he's going to play again, that's up to him. But I won't try to convince him one way or the other. I don't think he needs that.
Pop, when the crowd started chanting Manu, Manu, was it hard for you not to get swept up in the emotions of the night a little bit?
Of course. I'm going to try not to go there.
Guess that almost kind of ruins the next question I was going to ask you.
Then don't ask it. I don't want to ruin your questions.
I'm going to shoot my shot.
It's like somebody asking for an autograph and they come over, they say, I never do this. Or I hate to do this, and you say, no, you don't hate it that much,
Can you describe your feeling when you subbed him out at the game at that what could be final time?
No, you're not going to get me wishy-washy here. But it worked out great, starting him, and I'm sure he felt special as a symbol and an image.
Pop, Ramona Shelburne over here, ESPN. You've talked about the Warriors and how good they are, and you sort of said, I think back in January, you said it's beautiful,
sure.
Right? You're okay with the competitive balance aspect of this, but I mean, how do you feel after a run like this? I mean, they get done with a series like this, and it's Durant and Curry and Clay. Is this okay for the game to have a team like this?
Sure. Everybody tries to put together as much talent as they can, and that's what they did. But make no mistake. I think they get a short shift sometimes when, because they're so talented and they're over talented. They are talented. They're really talented, but that's not the whole equation. That's not everything that describes them. This is maybe the best defensive team in the league. On top of everything, so they don't just play with talent. They execute at the defensive end of the floor. On offense, no team is more unselfish, finding the open man and that sort of thing, and they get credit for that. Coaches are always trying to get their team to do that, but they've got a multitude of people who are unselfish in that regard and play a beautiful game. And on top of that, play D at the other end. So they deserve a lot more credit than, they're talented, they're supposed to win. That is disrespectful to them in my book. They're way, way more than just their talent.
Coach, can you describe the play of your young guys tonight, led by Kyle off the bench?
Yeah, it's a good group of young kids. We had, I think, 7 new players this year, and I think for our part, I think they had a great season. When you get 7 new guys, and we played for the first time without Timmy's leadership, to win 61 games and play well through the first round and through the second round and the beginning of the conference finals here, I think they did a fine job for themselves. And the young kids had a big part in that, throughout the year and in the playoffs. So I think, their future's bright.
Pop, can you talk about what went into the decision of not playing LaMarcus in the fourth quarter?
We were down by 40, and I didn't think it'd make much sense to have him go back out there.
Any more questions? Go ahead. Fire away.
Is this going to be a good one? I'd like to leave on a happy note here after getting my butt kicked. Go ahead.
Circumstances always different every game, every series. Kawhi's
Well, that's good. I agree with that.
Kawhi's injury being kind of foremost among that. But for the Warriors to start 12-0.
Is this going to be a long question? Because if
I think it already is, but it's not going to be much longer. 12-0 in the playoffs. How impressive is that to you?
Really impressive.
Not really, really.
Anybody else have a question that makes sense? And I'll be happy to answer it.
What kind of wine are you going to have tonight? I'm just trying.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Pop, going back over the years, I mean, we've seen the NBA change a lot from where it was 15, 20 years ago. And I'm just curious as to what your thoughts on the prevalence of the three ball now. And, I mean, the Warriors obviously use it. I mean, the Rockets were huge with it. I mean, What's it changed? How's it changed the game, and what's it doing to the game?
Well, I don't see too many big men that are real interested in playing down on the block anymore. Everybody wants to shoot it. And I think that I've stated many times I hate the three-point shot. I've often said, well, why don't we have a 4-point shot? Let's have a 5-point shot and make it a circus. And then there's nothing going on except, you feel like you're in Vegas every night, that sort of thing. But you got to go with what it is. There's that many players that can shoot the three. You better be able to guard it, and you better have people that make a three. Because, analytics, you don't have to be a genius to see what the three does. And the Warriors have a multitude of people who can shoot it. That philosophically, I can still hate it, but I still have to use it. And when we've won championships, we've shot threes. And it was one of the reasons that we won. So I guess maybe those ideas are mutually exclusive, but I hate it, but you use it.
Coach.
I hope they don't do that 4-point thing, because I think Steph and Clay will be able to make those too. Everybody will be in more trouble.
You saw the Warriors obviously several times during the regular season, including one time pretty late in the regular season. Did it seem like they reached another level in the playoffs, that they found a different gear, that maybe they gelled in a way?
No, I didn't really. I didn't, watch it that closely to feel that or to see that.
Coach, you've watched Steph come up in this league. He's cut his teeth against teams like you. What impresses you about how he performs as he's grown?
Well, he's taken on the responsibility to be a star every night, and a lot of people can't do that. That's number one. And number two, he's had the wisdom to make his game even more solid. A little bit less mustard. And a little bit more fundamentally sound, which reduces turnovers, gets more shots for teammates. So he's been willing to tone it a little bit, over the past few years, and the possessions are that much more powerful, that much more. There's no dry possessions, fewer turnovers, that kind of thing. And obviously his confidence has gone through the roof, because he realizes that what he does is special, but it doesn't diminish his attitude and approach and edge as he approaches every game. So he's very special.
Thank you.
Take care.